After Carolyn left, I opened the Considine file. There was nothing in there that hinted at the steamy stories Carolyn had been telling me. Dr. Taylor was a physicist. Mr. Considine was listed simply as a painter. The first time I'd read it, I'd thought it meant house painter. The only thing to have caught my eye initially was Dr. Taylor's first name, Ladbruk. The peculiarity of it had not struck me so much as idle curiosity over what, in intimate moments, one would call someone with such a formal name. There was a fairly extensive sheaf of papers on Leslie and her disturbance. As in so many cases of severe handicaps of this nature, there was little certainty about exactly what her problem was, and what had caused it. Apparently, her birth and early infancy had been normal. She was a full-term baby and, while placid and not particularly responsive, she'd been easy to care for. Her progress past the usual milestones had been slow, but within normal limits. Then, somewhere around 2.5, she had begun to deteriorate. What little vocabulary she did have disappeared. What progress she'd made in terms of toilet training and self-care was lost. A futile round of doctors and psychiatrists started soon after Leslie was 3. Autism, one report said. Mental retardation, said another. Childhood schizophrenia, said a third. No one seemed to know for sure, but everyone was willing to guess. Amazingly, to my way of thinking, Leslie had had no special treatment program and, indeed, was kept in a regular classroom for 2 years. She had, in fact, spent more time in the classroom than had Mariana. There were a few acerbic jottings from Rita Ashworth, Leslie's previous teacher, about the challenges this presented, and I got the impression that in the end, Leslie had been left pretty much to her own devices. There was nothing written anywhere to suggest how Leslie's parents had come to terms with their daughter's handicap, nor anything about what the home situation was like. There was a brief mention of 2 older stepchildren, and how the younger of them, a teenaged girl, had a poor relationship with Leslie, but there was nothing else. The first week passed. The 3 children were very different from one another, and I did nothing more than scuttle among them those first days, trying to keep order. Both Leslie and Durkee could have done with a teacher apiece. Durkee was fairly advanced in comparison to many other schizophrenic children I'd encountered. He was toilet-trained, could express himself quite well, could follow simple instructions, and even had mastered a fair number of academic skills, although at a level way below what would have been expected for his chronological age. However, he still needed virtual one-to-one teaching to stay on task.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.